And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guest on this exclusive interview. The Polish cyclist Katarzyna Niewiadoma has made history by winning the Women's Tour de France, one of the most prestigious races in women's cycling. Now, this victory comes after a series of impressive performances, solidifying her place among the top athletes in the sport. Niewiadoma's triumph not only marks a significant achievement in her career, but also elevates Polish cycling to new heights. Joining us today to discuss Katarzyna Niewiadoma's remarkable achievement and its impact on the world of cycling is Jakub Pobożniak from TVP Sport. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Hello, I'm pleased to be here.
So what do you make of Niewiadoma's recent performance in the Women's Tour de France?
Well, this has to be called one of the biggest successes in history of Polish cycling. Definitely, Kasia Niewiadoma stormed into the history of women's cycling. She's the first Polish athlete to be on a top of Tour de France. It's like a second most important women's race, just behind the Giro Rosa, which has a little bit longer tradition. But we know that Tour de France in the men's editions is the most important race. So now Tour de France try to be also the most important race in women's cycling. So this has to be a big, one of the biggest successes of Polish cycling at all. Doesn't matter if we talk about women or men. This is one of the biggest successes, and well, the level she has to perform for the last 8 days was absolutely incredible. She shows that she's one of the most talented cyclists in the world, for sure.
Right, like you mentioned, the level that she's performing at is absolutely amazing. Given the very grueling nature of these final stages, what do you think are some of the key factors that kind of contributed to her success?
Well, usually in a men's cycling, when you are a leader of the tour of any big tournament, you have very strong companions, you have very strong partners in your team. And here, on the last stage, Niewiadoma was left alone, which even make this success bigger because she depends only on her ability, on her skills, and she managed to keep to not to lose so much time to the opponents, to keep her advantage from the previous stages, and that showed how strong she is. Like I said, usually when you are on a big tour, your team is here to support you, but all the other opponents try to break the peloton, break the friends of the Niewiadoma from their team, and they managed to make it like 60 kilometers before the final. So she was completely alone. She managed, and that's make this success even bigger. But she showed a great strength, especially on the mountains. As we know, she is from Lesser Poland Voivodeship. She has a lot of mountains in her region. She trained a lot there. She lives in Andorra right now, so she also has a lot of mountains. So we are proud, we are happy that she is so strong in mountains, and she showed that yesterday.
Right, and speaking about being proud, do you think her win is going to help with the visibility recognition of Polish cycling?
Well, it's a funny story, like, we have successes in Polish cycling. Niewiadoma in Tour de France Femmes. Daria Pikulik, not so long time ago, won a silver medal at Olympics in track cycling. But we must say that Polish cycling is in very bad condition, especially if we are speaking about Polish Cycling Association, which have very big financial problems. On the other hand, we have wonderful athletes that want to represent our country, and if they are training all over the world and abroad, mostly not in Poland, they can achieve successes. But we need to think how to implement that things that our athletes can train in Poland, can prepare themselves in Poland. They should have something. They should get something from the Polish Cycling Association. But looking for the situation now, it's I would say it's their individual successes. It's not the successes of Polish cycling in general, but they are like individual successes of the athletes.
All right, can you help me understand that? Because we do have wonderful terrain here, and like you mentioned, very great athletes. However, it does seem like Poland, with its vast population, and theoretically have access to a lot of some of the resources to help the cycling field, but Poland doesn't really have a proper cycling team in it of itself. What do you make of that?
Well, there was one team called CCC for a few years. They were starting in the top division of UCI, so cycling union, but they decided to dissolve the team. Now we have teams in a second division, third divisions. Usually, when there is a Tour de Pologne race, like it was last week, there is a national team of Poland, which has athletes from other small teams, small group from Poland combined together. But hopefully that kind of successes can bring some sponsors, because having a team, a professional team in a world tour, is really expensive stuff.
Yes, that's so. And do you think the success of Niewiadoma will actually be able to draw some eyeball into this topic and maybe give more voices to the people who feel like it's underrepresented when it comes to input from the association to the sport?
Yeah, hopefully. And what's more, I think that it can give attention to the women's cycling as well, this success, because well, as I said before, this is one of the biggest successes of cycling, of Polish cycling at all in general, not only women's cycling. And we actually, in this moment, we have even stronger ladies than gentlemen in Polish cycling. Like, we have still few good athletes, however they are quite old or getting older, and the new generation is not as strong as Michał Kwiatkowski, Rafał Majka, etc. And in women's cycling we have much more younger and as well talented athletes. So hopefully it will give a recognition to the women's cycling, and it will bring the attention as it is needed to have successes in world cycling.
Right, you did mention that ladies are doing really well in this field. Any prospects, any names that we should be looking out for to possibly also be able to promote this sort?
Well, we have to remember that Kasia Niewiadoma is 29 years old, so she's not old at all. Like, she can continue her career for still few or even many years, because there are cyclists that have like 37, 38. There is Daria Pikulik, who won a silver medal at Olympics in track cycling, but she's also road cyclist, and she started in this Tour de Pologne. She began the Tour de France, and she was on the 6th position on the first stage. There is also Agnieszka Skalniak-Sujka, Marta Lach. So there's a few girls that shows their abilities to cycle in a world peloton, and hopefully this success will motivate them to achieve even more.
And last but not least, how does their victory compare to some of the past achievement by Polish cyclists?
Well, it can be, well, let's say, I start differently. Like in a men's Tour de France, we had like few stages won by Rafał Majka, for example. Zenon Jaskuła in 1993, if I'm correct, won the 3rd position in a general classification. So we didn't have such a big successes. We have in a men's cycling successes like single stages wins in the most important tours, like Giro d'Italia, Vuelta a España, or Tour de France. However, I would compare that even to the World Championship gained by Michał Kwiatkowski in 2014. So that was, I guess, the most important moment in recent years in cycling, in Polish cycling. And I would say that this success can easily be compared to that.
All right, thank you so much for your input and insight, and help us understand a little bit about Polish cycling. Really appreciate it. Thanks again for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And with that, we conclude this edition of our interview. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.